190 something WMS, and then ended up with 101 combination of construction software and ERP and around 7 barcode vendors. After that, I went through, gave them all the, or gave you guys also the brief description of what we need, requirements and all of those, set up the demos and all of that. And after seeing the demos, then I sent you guys questionnaires and scored all of those questionnaires by point system, and narrowed it down to 6 companies. That time I started to bring in those companies for live demos, and I've included some of our key personnel during that process, and we ended up with 3, which includes Pro and Epicor, and then you guys. And from there, everything else looked actually the same. The applications are the same, functions would be the same, customizations probably would be different. But the main reason for selecting Ramco was, at the end of the day, I'll be the person who'll be interacting with the vendor. So there has to be a chemistry between me and the person I'm going to talk to. And I found that with Ramco, aside from the friendliness and culture and all of those, Ramco people have been very accommodating, have been throwing ideas and those other things. So it was the best decision that we had, selecting Ramco in the process, and everything started from there. Well, globally, like you said, we've been utilizing our email capabilities, and we heavily use emails on phone and all of those. So what we really exploited is the approval process on through email, through Outlook per se. So we don't have to be in front of the application, or we don't have to be in front of an actual PC to view purchase orders and purchase requests. Rather, we could just get a notification and we respond, simple response, and it goes to the system and it gets approved, and then it goes to the next level. And then well, at the end of the day, we get a lot of these email notifications that it's all saved in our inboxes, and we could do some searches and all of those things using just the preferred mail application. Aside from that, we've been very heavily utilizing the dashboards and reports. So mainly right now, it's the mobility, making sure that we have both hands free. Right now we have one hand free because we've deployed Surface Pros 3s in our receiving process. And eventually, with wearables and all of those, we'll have both hands free. Tried to pick a bad bone with Ramco, but I could not find a single one. The entire process from day one up until this morning, talking to the guys back in India, has been very fluid. We're always on the same wavelength, if you could say. We have a project manager, a technical consultant back in India, which is LP, and we share both the same passion. And I could call them any time of day. I've been talking to some of their wives also, because sometimes I call them at night. But I had no issues in implementation, deployment, setting targets, pushing for goals. There's none that I could think of. Every now and then it would be going through some minor delays, but it's because of the additional requirements that I've been pushing in. So, and I understand coming from the technology part that if you make changes to certain table or query and those things, it affects the other process. So, um, from day one up until this morning, I could say nothing bad. Yeah, very much. I'm sweating all over the place. It's because I am going to speak later on.